Spartan Nation.
SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first. Then you act.
Got no game to study for tonight, so whatever you want, you got.
Tom, can you, I know it's a simple question, but can you put into words when you see Cassius flipping the ball in the air, what's going through your mind when that was all done?
You know, I was questioning where where Xavier was throwing it, because they're so long and they're so athletic, and we had a timeout, they knew that, but when he threw it there, and I said they're going to foul him, because we were trying to foul before that, because we had a foul to give. And Cassius showed a burst of speed that I haven't seen. And he was running from the guy, and then when he turned out, I said, my God, we're going to win the game, So it was one of those days that I'll remember that as long as I live.
And then for Kenny, just hasn't been shooting the ball great lately, and then just to make that.
Well, it was funny because I kept telling him the last couple of days, you're never going to make a shot. You'd like to make a shot. You think you can make a shot. At halftime, I said, you had a couple good looks. You look like you're rushing it. So I'll make the next one, coach. And he told me that the other night, so I just believed him. And it was actually sort of a set play because they were really going with cash on that. And we said if we could pop Kenny, but man, he buried that thing, and it was a good-looking shot. We give Cassius credit too, and my staff and players, everybody executed, everybody did their job, and it was a hell of a win.
Were you worried about any hesitance from him when he got the one thrown by Zion there, right before the block?
Well, I asked him why he didn't pump fake, He said, Coach, he was 15 feet from me. I said, my man, I showed you tape of that all yesterday. He can block a shot from one baseline on the other, but it did take courage to take that thing. I give him credit. It was a catch and shoot. Cassius put it right there. Kind of a neat, being a former walk-on myself, I was deep down cheering for him.
And Zion was closing on that one too again.
He was a little farther back, didn't get that big step, but I think if it helped in one way, he got arch on the ball. And the arch on the ball, because he knew he had to throw it up there, was great.
I know. What about your other senior, Matt McQuaid, who came out really firing on all cylinders, driving to the basket, had that dunk?
Yeah, see, I have another reason to be mad at my players. I've never seen Cassius with that burst of speed. I've never seen McQuaid do the dunk and the acrobatic spin move. They're showing me some things that I've never seen myself. And couldn't have picked a better time, but McQuaid on that dunk, that was big time. And that spin move, and I don't even know what he threw up there. I was about to yank him, and he went in, so I kept him in the game.
I know it's like ranking your kids, but the way this year went, how special is this one, and where do you put this one, just with all the injuries and everything you fought through?
Now, the one thing I will say is everyone's been special for me because there's been a group of guys that have gone through different things, the pressure of getting to the first one. And then the pressure of being picked almost all year to be the best team. And Mateen and Charlie and those guys had to deal with that and then win it. And then come back for the third year and try to get there 3 times in a row. And then in 2005 when we were, I think, a 5 seed, and having to play Duke in Kentucky down in Austin, that was special. And, we had a hell of a video today from our video guys put together something. And it was all the players from that team sent in whatever it's called, social media stuff. I don't know that stuff. But they sent in something, and each player talked a little bit about the game back in 2005 and what it meant to him. And then when Irvin came in and talked to the team, he talked about the memories. He says, it's been 40 years. He started rattling off everything that happened. And I told my team later, I said, see, these memories do last a lifetime, and that's why they're so important. And, it's another thing like we have on our wall. It's, 2 hours of work, 40 minutes of play, lifetime of memories, and that's why they're all special to me. I could say this team's more mentally tough than most. I could say Mateen's is more physically tough. I could say we got lucky a couple times. Being lucky and getting to a Final Four is still special, I promise. So this one was special because we have been through a lot. We haven't been there in a while. it was McQuaid's turn. You know, he didn't want to be the, you know, in that group of the seniors that didn't make it, and it was Duke. I mean, let's face it, the respect I have for them. You know, as everybody gives me credit, we're 2-11. You know, we've doubled our win total against them. We're 2-11. But the second one, the first one helped us get to a Final Four. This one got us to a Final Four. So I guess in that respect, it's been good.
When the guy said
What do you think this means to Spartan Nation? I don't know if you've seen anything from back in East Lansing right now, but there's a lot of parties going on. A lot of people are very excited.
Well, they're going to have a lot of
time.
parties, but there better not be anything burnt or turned over. I'll tell you that right now. So Spartan Nation, listen up. You know, Duke showed an unbelievable amount of class tonight. So, you know, I'm getting back there tonight, and I want to see a lot of parties. I want to see a lot of fun. I want to see a lot of cheering. I want to see a lot of excitement. I don't want to see a lot of things that would that I would lose respect for. So I don't know which way you're going with that, but make sure you tell them, have fun, behave, enjoy it, be classy, and thank you, because I appreciate all of you.
Big game for Cassius today. You know, he had that stretch at the end of the first half when you guys fell down. I mean, that may have been, was that one of the most pivotal moments of the season, do you think?
Oh, yeah, you know, because for us to go on a 12 or 13-0 run against a team like that, when we were down, call a timeout, which, as you guys know, I don't call many, I thought was big, you know, and Cash had a lot to do with it. Our defense picked up. I think a couple keys were our defense was good enough that we turned them over 17 times, and we didn't turn the ball over. And all of you know that, you know, we have a tendency to do that once in a while, so that was big.
Tom, do you feel like you're at a point now where there's no limits to this team, or maybe earlier you're like, I wonder how good we are, and now you just kind of say,
yeah, if I was to be honest with you, which I normally am, you know, I'm not sure I thought this team could get here at different times during the year, but now we got to figure out how to win a second one. You know, we've proven we can play with the best. We've played the best schedule. The Big Ten has been so awesome all year. We played 24 Big Ten games. We've got more Quad 1 wins. These guys were given zero. They earned everything they got, and for that, we go in there good. Now, Texas Tech, I watched them the other night, and I have a lot of respect for Gonzaga, so that was scary, but I'm not even going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to just kind of enjoy a flight home and then probably catch a little bit of them late tonight.
You don't have to see Zion again, but how do you feel like your bigs handle him, especially Xavier?
Well, Xavier did it. You know, that was the matchup we felt we had to have. We were ready to put a couple other guys on him. Nick actually did a pretty good job on him if he could have stayed out of foul trouble, but then we started helping. We made a couple big adjustments late. We started switching that ball screen because we were having trouble. We started more or less fronting them, and they threw that one over the top. That Cassius got the steal on. That was a monster play because we were worried that we couldn't handle both. And so we were mixing up our coverages just because that guy's good, man. He's good, and he gets it down there. I've never seen a guy be able to finish in traffic like he has. And then he hit those threes, and wow, he's a hell of a player.
Going back to the win over Duke, the players all yesterday said they wanted this for you. They knew the record, and they wanted to shut people up, basically. What does that mean to you?
Well, that would mean a lot, because I never talked one thing about the record. Who the hell would, right? Yeah, I'm 1-11 against them. Let's have a party. But it's kind of cool that if they felt that way, that's awesome. You know, because there's things I want for them too. I want them to fulfill their dreams and goals and everything they do. And my dream and goal isn't just to beat Duke, but my dream and goal is to make sure our program is, is talked about like some of the great programs. And there's no question that Duke has been the model program of the last 25 years. So we still got some work to do. Still got to win another championship. But we got to another Final Four. We took another step. And hopefully you guys will all be up there. It might be a little cold, but hey, another week where you can, live for free for 3-4 days off your employers.
Tom, after the game, did Coach K have any message for you after the game?
You know, I've done this a lot, and I've been through some winning sides of it, losing sides of it. And I said it, and I'm going to say it publicly again. Yeah, he was very classy. I mean, classy, and I felt from his heart he was. I think he appreciates the way we run our program, and he wished me all the luck in the world and moving on. And I was blown away how his players, his assistant coaches, and he was, because he didn't have to go to the extremes he went to, which meant the world to me.
How pleased are you for these seniors, two guys that hadn't, done great in this tournament leading up to now, but now they finished their careers?
Yeah, that really is important too, because we probably had the worst 3-year run as far as winning games in this tournament. There's been some reasons why, but they would have had to live with that too, and now they don't have to live with anything. They've done something that all the guys in the fraternity, I told them it's a big fraternity, and there's a fraternity for winning Big Ten championships. That's a decent-sized fraternity here. There's one for winning Big Ten tournament championships, pretty good. And, there's one for getting to Final Fours, that's a lot smaller. And now they're a member of that fraternity. And there's only 2 that have won national championships. So, back when Mariucci and I were in college, we wanted to get to the biggest, best fraternities and sororities. Those were the good things. But in my job, I want to get to the smallest fraternities and sororities. And so I want to make sure that we accomplish things that few have. And that's kind of the number. We're looking to get into the smallest number. And Final Fours now are 8. But national championships, it's 2. And I'd like to find a way to build on that fraternity a little more, that small one that's out there for us.
Tom, looked like the emotions were kind of jacked up a little bit there in the last couple minutes. I wonder who was more collected, you or the players?
I was pretty good today. Thank you. I was pretty good today. I knew Gabe and Aaron there was deer in the headlights there a little bit, which I don't blame them. We called some things, and guys were going left that should have been going right, and guys were going right that should have been going left. And but it was good. Cash is still Cash. McQuaid is still McQuaid, and those 2 guys as captains, and even Josh Langford stuck his nose in a couple times, and it's just so cool how everybody worked together. I wish some of you could be with us 24 hours a day, and you'd. Do you? I do. I think you'd be shocked. In a good way, I think you'd be shocked.
You talked last week about some former players and how much they wanted it for Matt McQuaid. Just what does it mean to you to help Matt McQuaid get there in his senior season?
I say all the time there's 3 types of players. There's players that like the game, love the game, and live the game. Matt McQuaid's one of those guys that lives the game. And so he's worn out more balls and shooting machines than any guy that I've had in a while, and deserves every single thing. He's changed from a great offensive player to becoming a good defensive player when all the injuries hit, and now he's working back on the offensive side. And I'm happy for Matt. I'm happy for his family. He's got the greatest parents, and that kid's given. He truly is about the team. Winning for him and not scoring a point is cool, and there's not many like that this day and age. So I'm really happy for Matt.
Aaron Henry had a pretty sneaky good second half. He thought defensively like he was.
He did. He did not play as good as he's been playing, and I think that pressure. I told both him and Gabe at halftime, learn from this, learn. And it was funny because Dwayne Stevens, to give you a little inside, watches the warm up. I'm in here, and before we go out for the real warm up, and he thought, that Gabe was a little giddy, and sometimes what happens is when you're nervous, you react 2 ways. You're either like, don't say a word, or you're just jumping around like everything's good because you're trying to fool everybody. Well, he was giddy, so we called him in and talked to him about it, and I said, this is what you got to learn now. This is why it's hard to be a freshman. And, it gets bigger. I said, if we win, it's going to get bigger next week. So figure out where you are mentally and see if you can learn from it. So it's going to be interesting. On the way back home, I want to hear what he has to say and see if we can help him through next week. But that's why experience matters. He got some experience today, and so did Aaron. Aaron did play pretty good, but started to go in the middle a little bit. Tell your wife you're busy. Anyway, it's he made some good plays. He made some plays that he hasn't made those kind of mistakes. So it's all the heat of the battle, and played a lot of minutes too. So I'm proud of Aaron, proud of Gabe, really proud of Nick. I thought Nick came in and gave us good lift, and you know, the hand's a little bit bad, and the conditioning is what's really tough on him right now. And so hopefully another week is really going to help, because they couldn't guard him down low. I mean, Nick was a force down there.
Tom, back in the day,
All right,
why did you give Kenny a scholarship?
Because I was predicting that 5 years from now, we'd be in Washington, D.C., and I'd say, Kenny, why don't you shoot that damn three and see if you can get us to a Final Four. You know, I gave him one. It was a funny story. He was recruited by small colleges, I mean, Division I schools, but his uncle had gone here, and he was a Michigan State guy from real young. He'd come up a lot of games. He just in our minds wasn't quite good enough. Shows you how poor of evaluators we are, because he's been a big key to this season. But great kid, good student, versatile kid, you know. And I thought Kenny was one of those guys that liked the game and started to love the game. And you know, his fifth year, he started to spend a lot more time on the game. He got what he deserved, and he's leading us to a Final Four. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.